Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Video on the channel. Episode 66 of Go Rush just came out, and there's not too much to talk about this week either. But before I jump in, the Galaxy Cup has started, and the points that people earn are dual power, displayed in the Rush Battlers. Just like the tournament in Sevens, the entire city is the battlefield, and there should be duels in a bracket format at the end to determine the winner. However, unlike the Sevens tournament, participants do not form teams as far as I could tell. Each duelist duels by themselves, and there's not really a possibility for, say, a 3-on-3. The characters are still inspecting the relic, and this is where quite a few things happen. It appears that the relic is from the past, and they're talking about Otis in a way that just confirms my theory even more that Otis is actually the creator. The show is confirming it as much as possible without actually technically confirming it. And then this happens.
Otis. これは乾いていないのか。今のは何が起こった。大丈夫か。
ちょっと驚いただけ。さあ、解析を続けるよ。働かないとカードにしちゃうからね。
Those power waves that showed up look identical to the waves that appeared in 51 when Suija was telling everyone about the creator and the picture showed up in their heads. And I have a feeling that's no coincidence. I'm pretty sure the writers did that on purpose. Also, can we just talk about how we are less than 10 minutes into this episode and Yumu's already been possessed for the second time in this series? I know it's a trend in Yu-Gi-Oh! For the female lead to get possessed and or brainwashed, but still. Anyway, Udius and Yuhi go to Epoch's house, talking while they walk, and Udius ends up giving Yuhi a hug, which honestly surprised me. I wasn't expecting that. And neither was Yuhi, for that matter. The duel this episode is Udius versus possessed Yumu. And side note, how does no one notice that Yumu's eyes, which are supposed to be purple, are bright green and glowing? How does nobody notice that? Well, at least they notice eventually something's wrong. Fitting that Yuhi should be the first one to notice. After all, he is her twin. But seriously, how does Epoch notice something's off before Udius does? I know Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro tags are stereotypically clueless, but really? Well, he doesn't seem to suspect something when she plays a new card, so maybe he did notice. Uh-oh. To quote Joey, I'm going to file this in the category of not good. Yumu summons the infected card, which is revealed to be Darkness Drake. She ends up using it with Red Boot Boost Dragon to form Red Reboot Enhanced Boost Dragon. Okay, you guys need to watch this.
選んだ3体をデッキに戻す。強くなったって言ってたけど、言葉じゃどうとだって言えるよね。
どうしちまったんだ。
召喚。闇の化身。ダークネスドレイク。
ダークネスドレイク。あんなモンスター見たことないぞ。
魔法カードドラゴンズブーストフュージョン発動。フュージョン召喚。ヘルツのアンサンブル。激速でコアを突き破れ。おいでよ。レッドリブートエンハンストブーストドラゴン。
闇のドラゴンによるフュージョン召喚。
ダークネスドレイクをデッキに戻してレッドリブートエンハンストブーストドラゴンの効果発動。解析突破破壊私色に書き換えよ。ヘビークラックバースト。レッドリブートエンハンストブーストドラゴンの攻撃。遊戯やもろとも消し去れ。ダークネスデリーバー。
まずい、通ればユーリアスの負けだ。 トラップカードギャラクシカヒーリング発動
ターンエンド。
Yeah, so Yumu almost won, which would have been bad, but thankfully Galactic Healing gave Udius exactly enough life points to survive. Seriously though, if Udius had lost this, oh my goodness, it would have been so bad. Yumu would have still been possessed. Who knows what would have happened to Udius? He could have potentially gotten carded, and Yumu might have gone on a rampage just carding everybody. But back to reality, thankfully that did not happen, and we're now in the final turn of the duel. Oh, and by the way, the show rickrolled us again. Very rude that it keeps doing that to us. Udius pulls off a pretty impressive combo, adding Fusion back to his hand from the grave. He'd sent Fusion to the grave via the use of his trap card Galactica Healing. Yumu then realizes that Udius is about to go for Eternal Galactica Oblivion, so she plays her face down to block Udius' Tribute Summon. Since Udius can no longer Tribute Summon Oblivion in order to Fusion Summon Eternal, Yumu thinks she's won. But Udius, not giving up, goes into Plan B. He pulls off another combo and activates Udius no Atarashi Field Maho. He then proceeds to activate Fusion and reveals that his field spell allows him to use monsters in his hand as well as the ones in his field to Fusion Summon. Basically, the field spell allows him to use Fusion like Polymerization. Although that might only be with Galaxy types. He doesn't actually explain that, so we'll have to see. If anybody else actually uses the field spell, I kind of doubt it. Anyway, Udius Fusion summons Eternal Galactica Oblivion and activates its effect to gain enough attack to win the duel.
師匠の夕日がそれがしにしてくれたようないわば家庭教師と生徒のフュージョンエターナルギャラクティカオブリビオンでレッドリブートエンハンストブーストドラゴンを攻撃ボーテンセンツインズメイドモア
Yumu goes back to normal and is revealed to not remember anything. I know, big shock. As expected, the infected card, Darkness Drake, has also disappeared from her deck. Dylan thinks that she got possessed by Otis, however, I don't believe that's the case. Yumu appears to have been possessed by the evil Urtamar inside the Relic, which is supported by the fact that her eyes were glowing the same green as the evil Urtamar. Dark Damar. I've decided to call it Dark Damar until we get an official name for it. Or it gains human form and a name with it. Anyway, remember when Yumu got possessed by Damamu? Her eyes were glowing red just like the Urtamar. This appears to be more of the same. Hold on a minute. Who's this? The villain of this arc? For some reason, for both Dylan and I, our first thought was London. But judging by the preview for the next episode, it appears to be Manabu. Watching the preview, Dylan was like, oh my goodness, Manabu's lost his mind. And I'm sitting there saying, Dylan, I don't think that's Manabu. That is Dr. Sogetsu Manabu, not Manabu-chan. The show started setting this up in 58 when Manabu didn't remember anything after the duel, but they haven't touched on it since. I'm positive that's the Dr. Sogetsu Manabu mode, not Manabu-chan, but the parts of the preview that kept talking about the fish, well, that part just left me very confused, so I'm going to ignore that for now because I don't understand. It's just confusing. But going back to the Manabu situation, last time we saw him, he was still Denoa Muta's underling and was working for Muta at the stand. How did he get out of that? And Yandastar is next to him in this shot, so what is she doing there? The way I see it, there are three possibilities. One, her wolf mode has taken over, just like Manabu's Dr. Sogetsu Manabu mode, but we haven't seen that it has that capability. The wolf mode, I mean. So I really doubt it. Two, she's trying to snap Manabu out of it and talk some sense into him, which is definitely the most likely. Or three, she's being blackmailed and Otis or somebody else is threatening her friends and or Manabu, or her family back on planet Parter is in danger. That's the second most likely out of the three. But anyway, I do want to touch on a couple more things before wrapping up. I was hoping to at least get something on the Lugby in Epoch's house, but apparently we will have to wait. Judging from the preview, I doubt we're going to get anything next episode either. By the way, look who's finally back. I don't think we've seen Rovian at all since episode, 56? Also, I think Epoch may end up liking Udius. I know this is one scene that wasn't even a minute long, but still. If you want to see Udius in a really awkward position, keep an eye out for part 3 of my Udius and Zuijo scenes. That should be coming out soon. Shameless self-plug, sorry. Anyway, that's episode 66. Please remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you next time for another Yu-Gi-Oh! Video.